Happy Sunday, y'all. Welcome to your weekly forecast. So, we got to kick this off by talking about the fact that tomorrow is a Scorpio full moon and Pluto will be going retrograde. So if you don't know, Pluto rules Scorpio. So there's some very significant, there's potency. Potency is a strong word associated with Pluto. There is a theme about facing our fears. And what Spirit is talking about specifically is something that people leave out of the equation sometimes when we talk about facing fears. And specifically with Pluto going retrograde for the next 6 months or so, he'll be retracing his steps. He's just in the early degrees of Aquarius, right? Now he'll be completely retracing those steps. So it's like, take it back to zero. What has occurred over perhaps like the last year that you would like a do-over on? And specifically around being really honest with yourself, even where it hurts, specifically actually where it hurts. Because Pluto is all about where are the bodies buried? Like, where are the secrets? Where are the hidden truths that we, sharp memories swept under soft rugs that if you're not looking out, you might step on something and hurt yourself. These are the kinds of things we want to dig out, bring out, look in the sunlight, okay? Scorpio full moon. That area of your chart, that plutonic area of your chart is getting lit up. So bring up your chart. Where is Scorpio? Where is Pluto? These are places where you're kind of having a reckoning. And this is always the good advice with Pluto. You are better off facing it than trying to again be like, no, but maybe it's okay. Because when we ignore a judgment card moment, we get a tower card moment, is what Spirit is saying. So if you've had an epiphany or a realization about something, but you haven't, put things into practice yet, you want to do that. You want to do that. Spirit is saying, showing me a couple of very specific things. One is someone's physical health. It's like, okay, I know I need to quit smoking, or I know that the way I'm eating or the working out that I'm not doing or whatever, I'm having like a reckoning around that. I've been having physical symptoms or stuff like that. Don't let a judgment moment become a tower moment. I'm just hearing that. That's not here to scare anybody. It's here to empower you. As Spirit was getting at earlier, when we face our fears, it empowers us because now we're more aware of what we're working with rather than like, I guess it's okay, even though my fear of success or failure or being seen or intimacy is right over there. I don't want to look at that. Do you know what I'm talking about? Okay. There's your channeled message for this week. Now let's get into the day-by-day forecast, and then we will get into the forecast for all of the signs. So Spirit, give us a look. What's showing up this week? We're going to pull a card for today all the way through when we next meet on Saturday. And Spirit, we want to know the truth of what is showing up so that we can navigate it in the best way, Spirit. So what do you want to bring our awareness to this week? Wow. Oh, geez. I'll show you that in just a second. Okay. Let me shut up. Let Spirit talk. Thank you, Spirit. Wednesday. That's a lot of major arcana. Okay. And one more, please, Spirit. Where will we be when we meet next week? Wow. We have 6 out of 7 major arcana cards here. So Spirit talking about that Scorpio full moon, Pluto retrograde, reckoning, potency. What do you want? What do you not want? Face the music kind of energy. After all that talk, our card for today, judgment, a wake-up call, an epiphany, raising out of the grave, waking up. Okay, so if you are one of these people, which all of us have areas of unconsciousness in our life, places where we're asleep to the truth of something, the judgment card is that the alarm going off. And as before we even got started, Spirit was like, please don't hit snooze. Please don't hit snooze. Please see this for what it is and respond to it. You don't have to respond perfectly. You don't, whatever, but respond. okay, I'm awake. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I'm going to get out of bed. Give me a minute. I'm awake. I'm not going back to sleep. Even that is a sufficient response to feeling the knock on the door of your intuition or from spirit or from your body, as spirit was alluding to earlier for some people. Respond. Okay? You are being awakened. And this, again, even tuning into this reading, and some of you, it's like, oh, that message about like I've been ignoring this little tickling, annoying feeling in the back of my mind, and I know what that is for me. This could be your moment to like, okay, here's another one. Here's another opportunity to wake up and see this for what it is. Spirit is really having my eyes zero in on the hourglass here. Spirit is saying time is of the essence. Time is of the essence. This isn't something that will, it's like you can't address this in the same way in a year. Hey, Fernando, welcome. Happy to see you. You won't be able to address this the same way in a year or in 6 months or whatever. So it's like, pay attention, really hear it, really respond to it. You're going to feel better too. It's not just to be a good person or to be brave or whatever. You're going to feel better. You're going to be living in a way that is more in alignment with the way that you actually want to be. Spirit is giving me a phrase for this week for you to test run, okay? Your mileage will vary on what your adjective is, but Spirit is saying they want you to ask yourself this question. What would a confident woman do? What would a relaxed man do? Whatever, like what, insert your gender pronouns here. What would a creative person do right now? What would a compassionate person do right now? You can ask yourself that question when you're in moments where it's like, oh, somebody just sent me this shitty email. How do I respond to it? Okay, what would a confident person say? Or whatever. And you can practice it till you master it. The phrase that Spirit was dropping in last week. Okay. Now, Monday. The moon. It's moon day. It is a moody day. You might have some funky dreams. You might have maybe even like a disrupted night's sleep with the Judgment card today. And then again, the full moon in Scorpio is tomorrow, moon. And often when the full moons are happening, we find ourselves weirdly energized. Maybe sleep is interrupted. Maybe the dreams are weird. Pay attention, okay? The moon is also saying everything is not what it seems. So tread carefully and use all of your senses. If things are not what they appear, that means it's like right on its surface, right? With what my eyes can see. Use all of your senses, including your intuition. We'll get to her in a minute, but the High Priestess is present in this reading as well. So what I'm hearing is you're getting signs between Judgment and the moon. You're being given various signs. For some of you, the signs of that thing that you want to look at or address or whatever is going to come via dreams. Ooh, I keep dreaming that I can't find my shoes and I got to get to the airport. It's weird. It's random. It's symbolic. Something is telling you, I got to get somewhere. I've got to get ready for something. Something is coming and I got to get somewhere. Believe that. Trust that. Even if it's in a funky, it's not the sun. It's the moon. It's strange. It's symbolic. It's allegorical. And I feel like this is a week where you can transcend some of your fears. Where you can find out that some of your fears, this is what Spirit is saying, have been protecting you from getting what you want. And that happens, right? We're human. We have, like, again, fear of failure, fear of success, two sides of the same coin, right? So face your fears, look at them for what they are, don't shame them. Let's take that don't shame them message right into Tuesday. Strength, like I said, this week is almost all major arcana. There are major internal and external events at play here. When there's a lot of major arcana, it means that you're at a pivotal point where things could change in a really dramatic way. And it's not even entirely up to us, right? Major arcana, the major mysteries, right? Not these minor, Four of Wands or whatever. Like, no, the big stuff. Things could really change this week. And looking at these cards, it could be quite beautiful. So, Tuesday, strength, not shaming yourself. Being your whole self and appreciating your whole self. Our lion is the part of us that will do and say things that we don't want it to do, but that will jump out at moments when it feels like we are not taking care of ourselves. I.e., if you are in a relationship and you've been feeling like a bit of a doormat. Let's just say hypothetically, like, wow, I keep letting this person cross my boundaries or hurt my feelings, and I'm not standing up for myself, and I'm not standing up for myself, and I'm not standing up for myself. And then finally one day you just like you just lash out, right? That's an untrained, uncared for, untended lion leaping out and making itself known. It's not that that person doesn't necessarily deserve the metaphorical swipe, but it's more like, are you getting what you want? And are you being who you want? You want to be who you want to be in order to get what you want, okay? So this lion in you is creative, is powerful, is very strong, and I think you ought to make friends with it. So the lion is, again, my rage, my anxiety, my grief, the things that like are scary and I don't want to deal with. So it's better if I just cage this or beat this or starve this or kill this. One thing, you can't kill parts of yourself, right? You can make them dormant. You can put them in the basement and like put a trap door and put a bunch of stuff on top of it. It will dig a tunnel and find its way out at the weirdest, most inconvenient, worst time in your life. So you should probably just face your lion and deal with it. Face the parts of yourself that you don't like that much and give them compassion and watch them transform. Again, the lion beaten, caged, killed, or starved is like, man, when I get the fuck out of here, I'm gonna fuck this bitch up. This fucking bitch has been so cruel to me, right? But a lion that you raise and you clean and you feed and you care for and you tend to, if somebody else tries to fuck with you, watch out. Do you know what I'm saying? So moving as your whole honest self, even when it's spooky. Even when it puts you in places with like the moon card where it's like, oh God, what's happening now? Oh no, I don't know what's happening, because you're changing. People are responding to you in a different way because you're responding in a different way. Spirit is saying, sit with the discomfort of that. I know that that's not a sexy or fun message, but sit with the discomfort, for example, of, ooh, I've been people pleasing my whole life. And, you know, today I'm hearing the call that I need to quit doing that, and I need to wake up to the fact that that's not really me, and that's, you know, me being a zombie walking through life. My training is to be a people pleaser, so I'm just doing it. So today somebody asks you for something that you don't want to give, and you say, no, actually, I'm sorry, I can't do that. Then you have to sit with the discomfort of having gone against your pattern, okay? This is where a lot of people fuck up and backslide because they're like, oh my God, I must have done something wrong because this is extremely uncomfortable, standing up for myself or holding my boundary or whatever it is. No, it's uncomfortable because it's different. It's uncomfortable because it's jumping out of the neurological rut in your brain where it's like, this is how we take care of ourselves. No, we're going to do this a different way. And oh, I've never done this before. This is weird. This is awkward. I don't really know what I'm doing. It's uncomfortable. It's okay if it's uncomfortable. It's okay if it's uncomfortable. Don't take a little bit of discomfort as a sign that you've done the wrong thing, especially if you compare it to the discomfort of continuing to people please or whatever this is for you. Okay? Okay. Now, Wednesday, I alluded to her earlier. The high priestess is present. What does she have in the background? A full moon. Okay? So when the messages come, here's what Spirit just said to me loud and clear. You might get a message, a dream, a symbol on Monday that you're like, I don't know what this is, but the weird lady on the internet said to pay attention to it. So, okay, I'm just going to scribble down on a piece of paper. I dreamed about my grandma. She was standing outside my high school wearing a yellow scarf. Whatever. I have no idea what this means. Wednesday, you might have like a synthesis or a realization, or the Spirit is saying a lot of times we get signs and they're appearing in isolation. So it's like, I don't know what this is. This probably doesn't mean anything, right? I'm probably nuts. And if we were to actually be like the high priestess, be calm, sit back, just observe. You know, she's not, Spirit is showing me the It's Always Sunny meme with like Charlie and the map and the yarn, and he's like conspiracy theorizing and trying to make all these connections. It's not that. She's just sitting and looking. And she knows that like things will come together. The picture will synthesize, as Spirit said earlier, like it will come together and make sense. What I don't need to do is run around trying to make it make sense. So you might get another sign or like a phone call or an event on Wednesday that is like, that's what my dream was about. Or like, that's what those weird feelings I was having on Monday, that was about this. And Spirit is saying you can use that to be like, this is one of the ways that my intuition speaks to me. So that funky dream or that funky feeling or whatever it is that at the time didn't make sense, but then will come to make sense, that will help you create a better relationship and know your intuition when it's talking, right? As opposed to like my mind is making things up or my fear is really loud or whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? Okay, so Funky Monday, wait till Wednesday. It might make more sense if Monday's a little funky. Let it be like the High Priestess. Let it be funky and just keep watching. See what happens. I think that something will reveal itself to you. So Thursday brings us to our one and only minor arcana card. So let's think finally the energy pumps the brakes a little bit on Thursday. Four of Pentacles. I want to ask where you might be limiting yourself. Spirit is bringing me back to the phrase that they were using earlier about like, okay, what would a relaxed person do right now? What would a brave person do right now? You can play outside of the lines. You can step outside of the, like, maybe the box or the design that you've created for yourself. Okay? You are not limited. And in fact, look at this person. They got a crown and furs on, and they have all this abundant land, but they are stuck in this little teeny tiny little box, this little fortress. Fortress, right? A fortress is for defense. It's not a good place to make your home. This person, again, has all the potential for having comforts, but they are stuck in this little teeny tiny box because they're like, I have to defend myself. I have to protect myself. Yes, I could invest in more space, but instead I'm going to invest in this fucking wading pool moat because I just know they're coming to get me. You know, that kind of vibe. And Spirit is like, you have more options, more opportunities. Step outside of the box if you want to. If you want to stay in the box, that's also okay. I'm not your mom. Nobody is. Happy Mother's Day. Nobody is. That's the point. Spirit wants me to say something really important right now, okay? You're going to get deep for just a second. Nobody up there in the field, whatever, is judging you. They are not even judging the people that you want them to judge, the people that are doing what you consider to be straight up evil. This is one of the uncomfortable truths that I've had to hear from Spirit as a person who rages against evil, bad things happening right here on this planet, right? Like, yes, we're spiritual, and yes, we have to live here on this planet where people are being starved or killed or hurt or etc., right? And Spirit is like, we need you to know that we don't judge anybody, and that includes the people that you wish that we were judging. We are unconditionally loving, and we're invested in all souls evolving and finding love and liberation through their fucking imperfect, dumbass actions, right? So if nobody is judging you, if you are the only one grading your performance in this life, in whatever way, your spirituality, your courage, your creativity, your whatever, if you're the only one judging you, what do you want to do? Because nobody else is going, oh my God, I can't believe that they stopped that project. That was what they were supposed to do, blah, blah, blah. Nobody's doing that. Nobody's doing that. This is your life. This is your experience. This is your experiment. Okay? So nobody is forcing you into anything except you. You're very powerful. Okay? So step outside of the box if you want to, and stay in it if you want to, because again, no one's judging you for doing that either. No one's going, oh no, they never got out of the box. They stayed right where they were forever. No one's doing that. No one's doing that. When you cross over, it's be like, what did you learn? What did you do? What was it like? Like, you are bringing information and experience to the collective. The collective is not sitting up there with a red marker going, ugh, she did it again. I told her. Do you know what I'm saying? Okay, so Thursday, don't limit yourself. Thursday, ask for more if you want more. Do more if you want more. Be more if you want to be more. Try it on. What would a confident person do? What would a relaxed person do? Okay. Now, Friday, the Hermit. Be your true self. It might make people, people won't necessarily understand the moves that you're making. If that is your barometer for how well you're doing, you might want to take a look at some of the things that are popular right now and be like, oh, should being popular or viral or whatever be my measure of success? Or could I like take a jar of mustard and put it up my ass on live and go viral if I wanted to? You know what I'm saying? Like, you should be yourself. You should follow your own light. You should not worry about if your paper looks like anybody else's paper. I also feel like on Friday, it's like, if I'm honest with myself, there are certain things that are Four of Pentacles holding me back. And if I'm really being true to what I know, I have to move in a bit of a different direction. And even if other people don't get it, I get it. And I know why I'm doing it, and that is the most important thing. And Spirit is saying, it's a little bit surprising. It sounds ironic, right? By going your own way, by not caring about what other people think as you do and say as you need to do and say, you ironically become a lot more potent, magnetic, visible. Okay? So, just to say, being the hermit doesn't mean going off all alone and being all by yourself. Being the hermit is, to me, a little bit like being a cult classic movie. You're not a dumbass blockbuster built for the lowest common denominator. You are something that takes a little more thought. Something that's a little more fun, a little more quotable, a little more colorful. Okay? Okay. Now Saturday, when we next meet, fucking major transformation. And I like to see this, especially considering the start of the week today, the Judgment card, but even just going back to Thursday and looking at this order of operations. Recognizing a limitation that I've been putting on myself, bringing the light closer to that. Check out this egg that our mystical hermit is holding. There is a snake popping out of the egg. Transformation, evolution, okay? And Scorpio full moon to kick off the week, and Pluto retrograde. Here's our death card, number 13. Pluto, Scorpio, the reaping, the harvesting, the transforming. Letting something die so that something else can live. Okay? Okay. Appreciate you. I hope that it is a fantastic week. I hope that your transformation is pleasant and enjoyable. Now, let's get into the weekly elemental forecast. And this week we are going to start with the air signs because that is what Spirit is saying. So, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, Spirit. You've shown us what the week is bringing to us. And now we want to know, what are the air signs bringing to the week? Wow, geez. Okay, first stalker card up. First stalker card. Hey, hey, welcome, welcome. Now let's get into your money. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, Spirit. What guidance do you want to give them around money, jobs, resources for their highest good? Okay. And their headspace. What's it look like when it comes to communications, thoughts? Interesting, interesting, okay? Emotions, the heart, relationships, Spirit for Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Beautiful, okay? And finally, their energy, their fire, Spirit. How is their energy feeling? And how do you want them to direct it? Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Wow. Okay. Okay. That's really, you've got a very symmetrical, symmetrical reading here, air signs. So first of all, death card, your first stalker card, transformation. Again, Scorpio full moon tomorrow, and Pluto going retrograde. What is being reaped? What needs to die so that something else can live? Something needs to fully disintegrate is the word that Spirit is using. You know, the opposite of integration. Something needs to break down because the breakdown of it will nourish new things growing in your life. So don't box it up or put it in a plastic bag and stick it in the back of your closet where it just turns into a disgusting mess, right? Like, don't throw that fear into the back of your mind where it just kind of festers and grows mold. Bring it out into the light. Sunlight is the best disinfectant. What needs to go? Let me do it on purpose because there is something that you want to grow. Let's just jump over there. Looking at money, jobs, resources. There is something that you want to grow. And Spirit is like, you need some compost for that. You need some mulch for that. You need some of this old trash to go and feed that. So here's one way that Spirit is giving that to me. For some of you, it's like, I had this creative project in mind, but it no longer moves me, or I've changed, or whatever. And if I take some pieces of this and like recycling it, oh, this is still really useful. I can just plug this in over here, or I can just move this, just change this. So it's like recycle, reduce, reuse, close the loop. Like, bring down your compost and nourish some new roots. Seven of Pentacles says you need to make a choice. What's working for me? What's growing? What's not growing? And Spirit is saying one version of this for some of you air signs is what's helping me grow? What's not helping me grow? Resources. Time is included in your resources. So for example, if it's like if I spend 3 hours a day kind of doing mind numbing, whether it's scrolling or whether it's like binging TV that I'm really not even paying that much attention to. What if I just reduced that to like 2 hours even? And okay, I'm going to spend 2 hours on my trash TV, and then I'm going to use one of these hours to practice this new hobby, or to pick up this book that I've been meaning to read, or whatever it is, okay? Think about how you spend this week and what's working for you and feeding you, and what's working against you and could, quote unquote, die off, okay? Spirit is now showing me, if you look at these plants, right? We might think that, oh, the more leaves, the better, or the taller something grows, the better. When in actuality, reducing the number of leaves on the plant can help it be a healthier, fuller organism. So maybe your team do too much, and maybe you need to do less, comma, better. Do less, better. Okay? So don't be afraid to put things to death. Let's just keep with that metaphor. Seven of Swords, leaving things behind that are not for you anymore. Recognizing when something is not your battle, not your fight, not your monkeys. That's something else Spirit is saying. So maybe this is a phrase that some of you have been thinking to yourself or saying to yourself, not my circus, not my monkeys. If you've been saying that or hearing that, this is like Spirit doubling down and being like, yeah, it's not. You can leave this behind. Let it go. You don't need to carry it, okay? You are not responsible for everyone and everything. And you probably need to lighten your load with that Death card. You might even have a judgment epiphany moment today about like, I don't want to carry this anymore. I don't know why. Spirit is very specific. Some of you, Spirit is saying this is about like a sister, where it's like a literal sister, like a biological sister. Like, I've been carrying this, and Spirit is saying you can't care more about something for someone than they do. If, for example, I'm just using this as an example. If you have someone in your life who it's like, I really wish that they would get sober or something like that, right? If they are not there and they don't feel that way, and you are like spending a bunch of time and energy and emotion on the fact that you wish this person would take better care of themselves, that's probably something that you need to be like, okay, you know what? I need to go ahead and put this down, and I need to walk away from it, not because I don't care, but because I literally cannot do anything about it, and I am draining my own power and potency and influence by putting it into somebody who doesn't even want to yet do that for themselves. When they get there, you can be there for them, but for now, you don't even have to say anything. You don't have to make a big to-do about it, okay? You don't have to announce departures and arrivals. We can just detach lovingly, okay? Okay. Now, emotionally, for the air signs this week, Ace of Cups, renewal. Again, letting go of certain things, dropping down certain floodgates can let new waters into your life. I'm hearing self-forgiveness and other forgiveness, just to come back to our example of the person who we wish would get sober. Letting go and dropping this internal responsibility, like acknowledging to ourselves, I am not responsible for that person, and I cannot be. Literally, even if I wanted to, if I had the power to flip a switch, I would, but I don't have that power. And so I'm letting this go, God. And I'm, you do the let go, let God thing. I cannot control this, God, so I'm giving it to you, and I'm going to have faith that if I walk forward in my own life, things will work out the way that they need to. You could have very surprising blessing that comes from letting go of things that are not yours to control and never were, and might be little distractions on the road to being true to yourself. Spirit is saying, this is interesting, but Spirit is saying there's like a theme here, okay? So whether it's people's partners, family members, friends, The air signs might right now be wrestling a little bit with like getting into other people's business and avoiding our own. That's just what they're saying. So for some of us, it might be like, oh yeah, let me fix your life. You know what I mean? And meanwhile, the trash fire in the background, you know what I'm saying? So Spirit is just saying, look after yourself. And that will not mean that you're not looking after others. You'll actually be better equipped to look after others as you are looking after yourself. Okay? Okay. And finally, when it comes to your energy, just to notice, when I said you have a very symmetrical reading, 7-7, ace, ace. When you let go of projects, hobbies, time sucks, emotional and mental weight that is not yours to take care of, and you wave the flag and you say, okay, this is over, new beginnings become very possible. New energy gets freed up. And that's something Spirit is saying, is like, yeah, when you decide that I'm not my, you know, quote unquote, I'm not my sister's keeper, or whomever, your mileage, my boyfriend, my husband, my partner, my wife, whatever. I'm not their keeper. I cannot make them change their diet. I cannot make them change whatever. When you do that, you make room for new things to come into your life because you have pulled the plug, pulled like the energetic plug out of this person and plugged it back into yourself. So that is something that Spirit is saying, is look for places where you might be spending, Spirit is actually showing me like a live wire jumping around, like a cut off wire jumping around. You might have some like live wires that are leaking energy and you want to plug them right back into yourself. Okay. Get excited about your own life, the things that you want to do, things that you want to create and change about yourself as opposed to this other person. And if they could get their shit together, I'd be okay. Not true. A tempting illusion, but not true. Okay. Okay. I hope that that is helpful for the air signs. And now we will get into your cousin fire. Let's see. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius people. Thank you, Spirit. Spirit, want to know what the overall theme, the vibe, the forecast is for fire signs in the coming week. Beautiful. Okay. Now, how about their money, jobs, resources, opportunities for the fire signs? Aries, Leo, Sag. Beautiful. Okay. And what about their headspace, thoughts, communications, Spirit? What is the quality of the mental realm for the fire signs? Okay. And what about emotions, Spirit? Relationships, feelings. Hey, that's so funny. I was gonna say what's in the air for fire signs. It's literally in the air. That's funny. Okay. And finally, Spirit, their own energy, their fire, the spark for the fire signs. How do you want them to direct their energy for their highest good? A lot of possibilities this week. A lot of possibilities this week, fire signs. Don't hold back. That's going to be the headline. Okay? So the star, hope, optimism. Hope springs eternal. When do we see the star? We see the star once things have gotten dark. They're always present, of course, but when they are, the North Star is a way that we can orient ourselves. It is a place that we can use to guide ourselves. And with the star, also, you're being called to give naturally of what and who you are and not care about whether anybody else thinks it's perfect or thinks it's good or understands why you are doing it the way you are doing it. If we saw this in the middle of the night, none of us would really understand why she was doing that or what her purpose was, but we would feel the miraculous, soft, giving energy of it. So Spirit is saying there is a miraculous, soft, giving energy that you want to hand out. The star is very vulnerable. She's nude in the dark, right? And yet she's not afraid. And that's why the star is about faith. And it's going by our faith as opposed to necessarily what we see right in front of our face or what we think could go wrong. Let me just jump to your headspace. Don't hold back. Give of yourself and it will be returned to you, is what Spirit said. And I say don't hold back because Eight of Swords is keeping ourselves from moving forward according to our fears and insecurities. So this person is not, tied down. She's got some ropes around her, but they're very loose. She could literally shrug off her fears, her anxieties, this worry, and step forward, okay? But she's put all of these swords around her. This could go wrong. This could go wrong. I'm not ready. I'm not good enough. Everyone will laugh at me, blah, 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 blah. This is taking all the swords and overthinking it. Overthinking it, getting to that analysis paralysis place where it's like, I can't even see how to move forward. Okay? The star says, what if you told yourself that you don't have to be perfect? Would it be a lot easier if you told yourself, I'm allowed to mess up? I'm allowed to take 2 steps forward and 3 steps back, if that's what it takes, right? To learn. Okay? I'm allowed to mess up. I don't need to be perfect. I have faith. I have hope. I have an idea that I really feel inspired by. Follow that, even if everybody doesn't necessarily understand, even if you are a little afraid and you have your fears and your blind spots, okay? Move by your faith, not even necessarily by your eyes in this case, because if we're moving through the dark in the woods at night, we're not running full tilt forward. It's not the sun. We can't see everything, right? We have to navigate carefully and we have to orient ourselves to a star. And for you, the star is, this is who I want to be in the world, or how I want to be in the world. Even if some people laugh at me or don't understand me or whatever. This is what I want to be, and this is how I want to shine. And that is what all fire signs are here to do in their various ways, is shine and is light the way. And all the things that the fire signs have in common is they show the other signs, this is how you live like yourself. This is how you make life up as you go along. You know what I mean? And they all carry like that courage, that emblematic courage. So use that courage to break through your own limiting fears, beliefs, etc. Okay? Okay. Because look at this. You have everything going for you. 9 of Pentacles says you should pat yourself on the fucking back because you've built, grown, cultivated something that anybody could see. This is tangible, right? This is like, we can see the money, or we can see the vegetables in the garden, or we can see that 6 weeks ago you could only speak 3 words of Spanish and now you're stringing whole sentences together, or whatever, okay? The thing that you are doing slow, steady cultivation and work on. 9 of Pentacles is a great card for money as well. 9 of Pentacles is like, I've done so well for myself that I have more than enough and I'm really proud. It's not just I have enough. It's like, I'm really proud of what I did. I'm really satisfied from a hard day's work and the fruits of that labor. So Spirit is like, enjoy the fruits of your labor this week. I feel like you're going to be getting recognized in some way, congratulated in some way. And I also want to say, if any of you are applying for jobs or like trying to get your foot in the door in some way, somewhere, because so this could look like classical jobs. This could also look like maybe you're trying to make like grow a following or something like that, right? On social media. I feel like strike while the iron is hot. I feel like your skills are already good enough. I feel like 8 of Swords, you might be telling yourself some stories about how blah, blah, somebody's already doing it, or there's enough people who are blah, 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 and holding back because of that, or like, it's not ready yet. Maybe in like a few more years, I'll feel good enough to... I feel like strike while the iron is hot. 9 of Pentacles, believe in what you've been able to do and grow and cultivate for yourself, and get into the iteration part. Get into the part where you're getting your hands in the clay and doing stuff, right? And messing up and making a mess. Like, allow yourself to make a mess. Because the product is going to be amazing. That's just what I hear. The outcome is going to be amazing. 7 of Cups. This makes sense to me when I see it, especially alongside the 8 of Swords. It's staying in your head. 7 of Cups is a card about feelings, and yet it's the only card in the tarot where we actually see like the querent, the person whose cards are being read, represented, right? They are a flat, in the Rider-Waite version, they're this flat shadow, right? And the idea is you are imagining that these things will like fulfill you or change your life or change you, when in reality, all of these things are a dream. And if you just grab them, they will like fall flat. You know what I mean? Okay, if I just had the money, I would be happy. If I just had the love, I would be happy. If I just had the power, I would be happy. And Spirit is like, we would love for you to consider some of the most famous, rich, beloved, or at least visible people in the world, and consider how many of those people have not had a happy ending to their life. You know what I mean? So telling ourselves that if I can just have this or get this or achieve this, I'll be fine. I'll finally feel good enough. I'll finally feel happy. Whatever. Bullshit. I'm so sorry. Like I am sorry. Like I don't want to be that messenger, but I got to be truthful. And Spirit is like, you know that being the most beautiful and the most successful and the most rich and the most, again, seemingly beloved, some of those people feel the most alone, and some of them go out in the most tragic of ways. Okay? So don't tell yourself that if you could only just achieve this or grab this, that you would feel good about yourself. You have to choose now to be like, you know what? I'm good enough. I'm good enough as I am. Lumps, bumps, flaws, scars, cellulite, whatever. She's naked. She is like, I don't care. I am not ashamed. I am good enough. I have done enough. I'm worthy. That is something Spirit is saying is a really important phrase for the fire signs this week. I'm worthy. I'm worthy. Okay? Okay. Earlier when I said if you are applying for jobs or trying to get in like your foot in the door somewhere, Eight of Wands says throw it out there. Throw spaghetti at the wall. Submit the resume. Send the cold email. Make the cold call. Whatever. Try for the opportunity that you want, because opportunities are flying and it's going fast. Eight of Wands is speed. So things can also happen a lot faster than you think they can. As long as you are not holding yourself back by staying in your head. Take action, okay? Get out of your head. Take imperfect action. You are worthy, okay? Okay. I hope that that is helpful, fire signs. Go get them. Go be your fiery ass self. All right. Now let's talk to the earth signs. Let's talk to Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn people. Ooh, Spirit, please share with us, what is the through line for the earth element this week? What do you want to bring to the earth signs' awareness for their highest good, that when they bring their awareness to this, Spirit, things become possible, beautiful, okay? Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. What about their own element, Spirit? Money, opportunity, resources, skills. Beautiful. Okay. Already seeing a pattern here. Okay. What about, Spirit, their headspace, thoughts, words, communications? Okay. And what about the realm of feelings? Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. In the realm of feelings, relationships, Spirit. Okay? And finally, their fire. Their energy, Spirit. What is lighting up Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn people this week? What do you want them to know about their energy for their highest good? Spirit is really, this reading is resonating really strongly with the weekly forecast, earth signs. Okay, first card up, Temperance, gentle, be gentle with yourself. Temperance is moderation. A little of this, a little of that. Finding, Spirit is using the phrase dynamic balance, as in, you know, if we think of the Justice card, we kind of think of like the very still scales. Whereas Temperance, she's pouring these cups back and forth. And by pouring the cups back and forth, the water never gets stale, right? It's never, oh, I need to go get more water. It's what I have here can stay eternally fresh as long as I stay in motion. I stay gentle with myself. I stay dynamic as opposed to rigid, right? And for, you know, us earthy people, we can come off or sometimes fall into the habit of getting a little bit rigid, Maybe moving really slowly, maybe refusing to change, maybe feeling like, well, if I am going to change, then I have to change like 100% of everything. And Spirit's like, actually, no. We don't want you to go to extremes this week. We want you to change things a little at a time in a way that feels safe to your nervous system, okay? And now Spirit's getting really deep, okay? Okay, Spirit's giving me a funny example because they want to keep this as like light as possible, because of course your needing to heal or relax your nervous system can run like a gamut, a spectrum of like, you know, serious PTSD all the way to the light end of like, I want to try on a new way of acting or being or looking, and it's going to freak out my nervous system at first. So this is why, again, here we go to the lightest end of the spectrum of healing our nervous system. Spirit is like, they're showing me somebody who up to this point dresses in a very like nondescript way, like, don't look at me, don't notice me, here's my, you know, my neutrals, and every, you know, my I'm totally covered, and kind of as anonymous as I can get from the way that I walk through the world and dress, right? And they're showing me like, okay, but this person is getting tired of wearing, you know, only beige and stuff like that. And they actually want to really step outside of the box and dress in a way that's like kind of groovy, funky, weird, or whatever. Just stepping out into the world when you've been walking through the world in grayish for years, right, in your sweats, and then suddenly showing up in a way that feels a little bit more bold, that can be nerve-wracking. Right? Just that. Just literally, oh, I put on a dress instead of whatever, or I'm wearing color when I'm used to wearing nothing but neutrals. And people going, oh, look at you, that's kind of different, can make some people want to run into the house and get right back into their gray sweats, right? Like, oh God, no, they looked at me. That's a sign of like, oh, my nervous system is freaking the fuck out, okay? So Spirit was saying, you don't have to go all or nothing. Here's an example. You don't have to like, okay, and I've been wanting to, you know, dress like fucking, Spirit is showing me, oh my God, what's his name? Johnny Depp, pirate, Captain Jack Sparrow. It's like, okay, I've been wanting to dress like Captain Jack Sparrow, right? That's what they're saying. But that's going to freak me out. If I go from grayish to full Jack Sparrow, that's going to freak me out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try wearing a few rings, or I'm going to put on a hat, whatever. And just that, and everything else can be the same. And I'll step into the world and I'll walk through the world and nobody will freak out and I will feel less freaked out, right? But then you can slowly, over time, build until it's like, okay, my nervous system is actually prepared to receive compliments or to be visible or whatever. And like, it doesn't have to be scary. So you don't have to go all or nothing. You don't have to like, it's Mount Everest or it's fucking, I'm sitting here on the couch. You could climb a molehill. You could do a little bit at a time, okay? Okay. Looking at money. Here's a theme. Back and forth. Balance. Dynamic balance. Oh, this person needs, I have. They can have this. Oh, and if I need, I can ask for, because when I have something to give, I give it. And things stay in balance this way. Six of Pentacles, I'm hearing a few things. So one is balance the budget. So that's just some very mundane, good advice, right? Look at your budget this week. Or don't need to really remind earth signs that often, but look at your budget this week and think, is there anywhere that like there's more money going out than coming in? Am I spending on anything that like I don't really need anymore and I could bring this into a little bit more balance, or I could get something more if I just change, like I'm going to stop investing in this thing and I'm going to start investing in this thing because this is actually going to make me feel good. Make the changes that you need to make, but I also just feel that some of you are getting something that you deserve this week. And yes, that could be money. I also feel like gifts could be coming in, like, oh, I just saw this and I thought of you, and you randomly get something in Spirit's like random is karmic. Okay? Events that seem random are karmic, and they're just saying that. So if you randomly get a gift, if you randomly get money, it is because you have done something generous or kind or open-hearted in the deep past, and the universe has found a way. The spirit moves your friend to send you that book or that poster or that whatever. And Spirit is also saying, that gift, that thing that is given to you, that compliment, that money, that that physical gift is a sign. So please also look at it and notice like the symbology of whatever that gift or that compliment is. They're saying that. Because they're saying like the spirit is moving them because we have something we are trying to get through to you. We want to repay you. We want to feed into you. So we're going to find messengers and gift givers to do that for us. That's just what I'm hearing. Okay. I'm so glad that you are going to be getting gifts and support, and that temperance is your theme card for the week, because let's go there. Looking at your headspace, Ten of Swords. Big sigh. Oh, something has been done to death. The dead horse that you've been beating has turned into dust. There is like nothing even left to beat now, right? Ten of Swords says it's done, it's dry, let it go. Spirit is using also the phrase gray rock. So for some of you, you might be done, but there is somebody else who is like, no, I could keep fighting. Oh no, I could bitch about this forever. Let's keep going. But you're fucking done, then you need to go gray rock. And if you've never heard of going gray rock, the idea is if you're dealing with narcissistic people or abusive people or just bad people, we don't even have to put fucking clinical labels on them and make it pathological. Maybe they're just an asshole, okay? Garden variety fucking average asshole. They could keep going forever and you're done. Then you become the gray rock, which means you become the least interesting person to fight with or communicate with. One word answers, unmoved, like you're not making me mad, you're not making me feel anything. Like gray rock, boring, not fun. You're no longer a fun supply. You're no longer someone who can they can no longer push your buttons because you're a gray fucking rock. Okay? So who do you need to gray rock? Do it. Because, yay, there's tons of people who are fucking fun and great and want to support you. And actually for some of you, this is very specific. So this is not for every earth sign, okay? But I'm hearing for some of you, it's like a breakup where it's like, I am done with this person, and Spirit is saying something else. So for some of you, it's a breakup. For some of you, it's less straightforward. And it's like, okay, it's not a breakup, but I'm still dating this person, but I know that it's over in my brain and I'm slowly detaching from this person. And by detaching from this person or breaking up, I'm back with my people. I'm able to go out with my friends again, or I'm able to go out and make and find friends again because I'm not stuck with this fucking person who has been sucking the fucking life out of me and taking up all of my mental bandwidth, okay? So whatever needs to be let go of it, because there's more where that came from. Much, much more and better where that came from. Hey, Maria, happy to see you. More and better, more and better, more and better where that came from. Make gentle moves. You will see great progress. 3 of Wands is you have made a choice. You have made a choice. You have stepped out onto a path and you can now see more on the horizon. That's what Spirit is saying, is like new options and opportunities are opening up in front of you because you have decided to make a brave decision and to take a step forward. So wherever you are, earth sign, whatever realm of life, maybe you're doing it in your relationship, maybe you're doing it in your job, maybe you're doing it with a creative project where it's like, I'm being bold. I have 2 of Wands, I've looked at my options and I have chosen to step out of my comfort zone and try something brave. That's what I hear. And I feel like you're going to be seeing like your ships coming in, is what Spirit's saying. So when Spirit said earlier, like you might be getting gifts, you might be getting messages, compliments. Again, they said, this is a sign. So yes, this is this person just loving you and wanting to give you a gift. And it's also Spirit being like, hey, we see that thing you're doing. We see that you just started making your channel or doing whatever. And this person was like, hey, I have a mic and I wanted to give it to you or whatever. And you're like, why are they giving me a mic? I was just thinking about. Yes, this is a sign. Spirit moved them. So keep an eye out for boons from the universe. Okay? That's just what I hear. Saying that out loud made me think of Boone's Farm. Does that still exist? Are kids who shouldn't be drinking alcohol still grabbing Boone's Farm from Walmart or whatever? Is that happening, or am I just like a 90s relic? Okay. But there could be that. The answer to both those questions could be yes. Okay. Let's talk to the water signs. Finally. Ah, my water people, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. What's the theme, the vibe of the week, Spirit? What theme do you want to bring to the water signs' attention for their highest good? Okay, another familiar card. Okay, Spirit, what about money, jobs, resources, skills? What do you want to tell the water signs for their highest good, Spirit, always in the name of joy, ease, abundance, fulfillment? What about the mind, the realm of words? Beautiful, okay? And feelings, the water element, Spirit, in their own element. What is going on in the realm of relationships, feelings? What do you want to share with Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces people for their highest good? Okay. And finally, their energy, their vibe, Spirit. Where is their energy and how is it being directed this week? What do you want them to know about their energy for their highest good? Wow. I feel that once again there is a decision to make, water signs. Okay, first card up. Another a stalker from the weekly forecast. This popped up for the week, and here it is for you, the overall theme. So everything that Spirit said at the beginning of the reading about things not being what they seem, and receiving like symbolic messages, and being able to sit back and observe like a high priestess and be like, I'm not rushing to try to put all the dots together like the Charlie meme. It's Always Sunny meme. I'm not doing that. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. That's weird. That feels strange. Trust that more information is going to come to light. So, the moon. Things are not what they seem. We dance under the moonlight in our mask, right? We go in front of the world, and a lot of times we put on a mask of like, oh, this is how I should be, or this is how people want me to be, or like, oh, this is really who I believe I am. Hi, everybody, this is me. Meanwhile, our shadow self, our unacknowledged desires or fears or feelings, right, can come creeping up on us, and if we're not welcoming them, if we are not turning around, extending our hand and saying, hey, shadow, come dance with us. We're dancing. We're dancing under the moonlight. We're doing rituals out here. If we don't invite her up, she might be as creepy as she looks and grab us by the ankle and quote unquote drag us under, right? Drag us into anxiety, drag us into our feelings, drag us into depression. Not because she is cruel and horrible and evil and vicious and mean. No, because, hey, you're not seeing me. You're not seeing me. I keep asking you to see me, but you won't see me. So I guess I have to do this, right? What Spirit was saying earlier about like a judgment moment unacknowledged ultimately becomes a tower moment, right? So if we don't acknowledge our shadow and incorporate it into our life, it can grab us by the ankle and drag us into some shit that is confusing, okay? So thankfully, the water signs are the best equipped to handle situations that are murky, or where things are not what they seem, or things are more symbolic or metaphorical than straightforward. Water signs deal with that really well. Pull on your high priestess robes, okay? I'm saying that because Spirit made so much reference to her in the beginning of the reading, and they're doubling down on that for the water signs. So put on your high priestess robes. Do your journaling. Last night I dreamed this. Today this happened. Seems weird, but they feel kind of connected. Whatever, like, be weird, okay? Be weird on purpose. Be weird on purpose, and try to connect the metaphorical, symbological dots. Not like the Charlie meme. Patiently. Letting stuff show up, okay? And being like, I'm going to trust that the universe is showing me what I need to see. And the less freaked out I get, the less worried I get that I don't understand everything yet, or that all the pieces of the puzzle aren't present yet, the less freaked out I get about that, the sooner I'm going to be able to put the puzzle together. Okay? So do not hurry, do not rush, do not stress this week, as to the degree that that is possible. Let things become. Let things show up. Okay. looking at money, resources, skills, this is when I said that a choice needs to be made. So I'm curious if for any of you, your shadow might pop out this week and be like, we're fucking tired. We're done. We're over this. So we're going to self-sabotage. We're going to sleep through the meeting, or we're going to snap at the husband or the coworker or the whatever. Like, I want to ask you to slow down, to take it easy, and to notice what is working for you and what's not, and make gentle adjustments. I do feel that a choice needs to be made, but you don't need to make a snap decision. And that's what I feel like they're kind of just giving you a gentle, like a yellow light, and being like, okay, don't, when you feel like something is showing, you know, as they say, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. Okay, you can believe them, and you can take your time to respond as opposed to react. Okay? So take your time, no snap decisions. You want to have a nice, clear mind. The Seven of Pentacles implies really pausing. Like, the Spirit is showing me somebody doing a painting and then stepping back and looking at it, right? Because you want to get the big picture before you go back in and make any detailed shifts, right? So, and Spirit is also, they show me another version of that, which is, ladies, if any, or anybody who puts makeup on their face, if it's like if you're doing it from far away and everything looks fine, and then you bring a mirror up closer, like, oh God. So Spirit is like, remember to step back and then step in, step back, step in, big picture, little picture, big picture, zoom in, zoom out. Okay. I think that you can make a choice that will set you free this week, that will lighten specifically your mental load. Six of Swords is gaining clarity from a tough situation. Gaining clarity via going through a conflict, okay? What precedes the Six of Swords? It's the Five of Swords. It's that nanny, boo-boo, immature, shitty little conflict card, right? And Six of Swords is like, oh, thank God I learned from this so I can move on. Because I am not staying there. Let me tell you what, I am not staying in this shitty little situation. Or Spirit is using the word eddy, like a water, a little eddy, a little whirlpool. I'm not getting stuck in this eddy. Maybe some of y'all are stuck with an eddy, and that could be why they're saying it, but that's funny. But they're saying you're getting out of that and you're sailing forward. The symbology here says that I've taken these things that were once painful, right? These cutting swords, these cutting words, these cutting moments in life, and I'm going to take them from something that used to hurt me, and I'm going to use them to bring actual pleasure, clarity, motivation, purpose into my life. The best thing that can happen to old swords is that we put them up and they become a compass point. This is how I actually want to be and run my life. Oh my God! No wonder! Spirit, Eddie. That's really funny. Love it! Love it! So, take the lesson and move forward. And remember, you can take the lesson and carry it forward and not carry the story. You don't need to carry the story and keep it with you. And that's just what I'm hearing for some of you is like, oh, and I get it. As a watery person myself, things make an impression on us. Words people say, actions they take that are cruel, they stick with us. But Spirit is saying, we want you to, again, lighten your load. So take the lesson, take the good, substantive, useful stuff that you got from that, and make a conscious decision to leave the rest behind. Okay? So kind of like facing what you've gone through, taking what is the best of it, grabbing your shadow person and inviting her up onto the shore so that y'all can all dance under the moon together, and then moving on. What does that make room for? Two of Cups. Spirit is saying, encounter. And that's a very romantic word for like meeting somebody, right? Encounter. It sounds very mysterious, like you're having an encounter with someone. Oh, am I? Like, sounds nice. So, Two of Cups. This could be a fresh, new suitor or relationship. And that's going to be true for some of you. These are general readings, of course. For others of you, this is actually like Spirit is using the word in a funny way, but they're saying reunion. But they mean as in like we are, renewing our vows. We are having like a resurgence of romance in the relationship. So kind of like a new honeymoon phase. That's what Spirit is saying. So for some of you, it's like new honeymoon phase. And for some of you, it's like another, like we've come to the next honeymoon phase in our cycle. I really like to see that. Someone to share your feelings with. Now, Spirit is saying something else. There's another subset of water signs for whom this is about engaging with someone who can look at your water with you. Like a good friend, like a good therapist, like somebody who can exchange cups with you and help you understand better who you are and where you come from. I like how this person is stepping out of the water. Spirit's like, this is just how she looks when she's in broad daylight. You know, things look scarier to us in the moon and in the dark, right? But really, she's this wonderful and full and whole person. And what Spirit is saying that about this is those of you who grab your shadow by the hand and welcome her out. And you are this full, available, and Spirit is saying emotionally available person. So maybe some of you have been avoiding intimacy because there's a fear of what happens when I get really intimate with somebody. But in facing your fear, in embracing your fear and being like, okay, I see you. I want to engage with this fear. I want to feel the fear and do it anyway. That kind of vibe, right? When you do that, new things become available to you, new possibilities. Oh, that's a beautiful thing. Yes, that's a great example of what this Two of Cups could be. It's like, yes, thank you for helping mirror. Thank you for helping me see and understand myself better by showing yourself. Okay. I love to hear that. I love to hear that. Thank you for sharing that, Stephanie. And finally, when it comes to your fire, water signs. Yeah. Okay. I like this. Spirit is saying some things you are done with and you are moving on from, and other things, Nine of Wands, things that you actually really want and are really passionate about and really care about, you're going to stick it out and you're going to stick through it. And you are showing yourself as very strong, very resilient, and be vigilant. That's something else about the Nine of Wands, is like, keep an eye out because there are signs coming at you. Okay. And I know they already said that with the moon. So now they're really pulling it all together. There are going to be signs that show you, hey, some things we do want you to give up and take the lesson and move forward. But the things, again, that are still really lighting you up, firing you up, excite you, move you, that you want to stick through. And that you do want to, even through the pain, the struggle, she's got a bandage on her hands, on her head, but you should see the other guy. She is winning. She's just feeling a little beat up and tired and kind of like, are we there yet? And we're not there yet, but we're close because we're at a 9 out of 10. So you are closer than you might think. Only, of course, when it comes to something that still feeds you and lights you up. So I want to be real clear. I'm not telling anybody who's like, I'm in my shitty relationship with my shitty partner who's always shitty to me. So you're telling me to stick it out and that if I just stick it out, they'll change? No. If you're in the shitty relationship with the shitty person and they're not changing, then this is probably your Six of Swords, okay? But for something like a creative project or a way that you want to act in the world or a goal that you have that as much as you may not be seeing the fruits of it yet, you still feel passionate about it, stick with it. Don't let go. Don't give up, okay? Okay. You just might need all of you to make that goal possible. So your shadow side too, your fears, your socially unacceptable desires. I want to be filthy rich. I want to be super powerful. I want to be so famous, whatever, like things that don't sound pious and good and like spiritual, right? Your shadow has its needs. And when you bring, again, those needs, those shadowy fears, desires, whatever's feelings into the light, you'll see that they're not so bad and they're not so scary. Oh, actually, it's not bad that I want a lot more money because I'm a really generous person. And if I got a lot more money, I would be throwing out a lot of good into the world. Or, hey, what's wrong with me wanting to be recognized for being good at something? That's actually not shameful. Somebody in my deep past made me feel that that was shameful. And I've been accidentally carrying on that legacy for them. And I want to let that shit fucking go because I got places to go and I got things to do. So I'm not carrying this shit anymore. I'm actually going to welcome the greedy part of myself or the horny part of myself or the jealous part of myself or the insecure part of myself and say, I fucking love you, girl. You could never get me to not like you. So you be as socially unacceptable as you want. I will still love you. The secret is that part of you that seems unacceptable will mature and transform before your eyes as you welcome it, as you give it compassion. So your greed will turn into like remarkable financial savvy once it is in the light and given love. And so it won't be, oh, and suddenly you turn into the worst, fucking most greedy, most ambitious, whatever, crappy person. No, you become a person who's capable of making a bunch of money and then sharing it with people that you care about and causes that you care about. So you're not going to become bad by allowing yourself to want what you want and be all of who you are, not just the most acceptable or nice or pleasant version. You become more interesting. You become deeper in flavor, more savory when you bring in the bitter parts, the darker, gamier parts. You become a more full, flavorful dish. Okay? Okay. Let yourself be flavorful. And all those other motherfuckers who trying to fuck you over while you're making yourself flavorful, let them cook. Let them cook. Roast them up. All right. I hope that that is helpful, y'all. We have come to the end of our forecast. It is always super fun to see y'all. Still curious. Maybe I should put up a poll or something, but just curious if anybody has a preference around Saturday versus Sunday. I'm figuring out my own rhythm and flow, but I want to make this in a way that works for people. So if you've got thoughts on that, please share them. And yeah. I love y'all. I hope that you're having a good Sunday. I hope that this made it a little better, and I hope to catch you next week. Remember, Scorpio full moon, Pluto retrograde. Don't fuck around. Don't lie to yourself. Even if the truth is ugly, tell yourself the truth, because that's going to have a beautiful outcome. Okay? A beautiful fucking an ugly truth is better than a beautiful lie. We could also say it like that. Okay. Ha! Sending y'all love. Take care. Excited to see you next week and hear the stories of how this week went. Till then, we'll see y'all.